which we have taken is organizing Windows function. So it is all the Windows function is we are organizing for what purpose, like what is the function and when it is should be available in primary window or secondary window, or that function is can be used as a in secondary window, the types of windows like dialog boxes or some other, right, message box and all. So whether to use for dialog box, so you need to understand that whatever the windows we are preparing, it is for supporting the user task. And what is the user task, what is the importance of that user task, what is the priorities of that user task, depends on that. We'll be checking whether it should be in primary window, secondary window, dialog boxes accordingly, right? So this is one thing which we need to understand with respect to the Windows organization. And the second is the number of windows. Again, yesterday as I said, same thing, you need to minimize the number of windows to which will be required to accomplish any objective, any function, any task, right? The depth of the number of windows for any particular task, a single task, should not be so much, should not be uh, very long, right? So you should see that minimum within 3 4 windows where the depth is 3 to 4, it should finish the particular task of that particular option, right? So minimize the number of windows used to accomplish any task. If possible, use a single window task. Otherwise, if it is not, then uh, there is an advantage and disadvantage also. You cannot put everything on the single window also, because it will make the window messy. It will make the window which will not look good, messy, cluttering and all. So instead of that, you can go in the where you can open the number of windows, but at the same time, it should not be so much of depth for the number of windows also. At the same time, if any function is in, I mean, infrequently used, rarely used, if any function is rarely used, then you can use the dialog boxes, secondary window. But in that secondary window, you can go for the dialog boxes where you need data, you need that task or that data to be entered by the user immediately, and it is not frequently required kind of data also. Okay, so you can remember all these things while organizing the window. Now we'll go for the major portion of the our topic, that is Windows operation. So we started yesterday with the first, that one, active window, and you can see that as we have done so many of applications. I mean, we have gone through, we have used so many of applications, whether on the mobile or whether on the laptop or desktop. So when we'll say the window is active, when as a point of user's point of view, the window will be active when it will be highlighted, right? When it will be, when we can say that it is visually, we can differentiate from the other window. Or we can say the window is active when the cursor is in that window and it's blinking, or the cursor is visible, we are able to access the cursor. That means what, that particular window is active. So this is from the point of view of the user, how he will differentiate, how he will make it as this window is active. From the designer point of view, what we need to understand, that we have to see. So whenever we are making any window active, definitely these 3 points which we have discuss with, from the perspective of user, those 3 points also we need to understand. We need to take care, that is, it should be visually differentiate from the other windows, right? And then it, whenever we are making the window active, it should happen within a few steps, right? So there should not be a long procedure, to open any window, to make any window active, right? So from the programming point of view, you are making any window active, you have to see that to make that window active, either whether it is overlapping window or whether it is cascading style of presentation of those windows or it is a tile window. So how it, what kind of procedure should be taken, so that user should not have unnecessary big procedure to make any window active. So what general guidelines they are given? The general guidelines they are given: design the easy to use and learn window operation. So it should be user friendly. Any activity should, most of the time it should be user friendly, right? Direct manipulations always will be faster than the indirect manipulation in any window operation in any application. So you have to see that the direct manipulation operations should be included for all the active windows. Then you have to see that minimum number of windows operation necessary to achieve a desired effect, as we have spoken just now in the previous topic. For any particular operation, you should see that there should not be more number of operations are required, more number of windows are required to get open. Then making navigation between the windows should be easy and efficient, right? So think from the point of view, think from the designing or developing point of view, how it will be, how you can make it easy. Then make the setting up of windows particularly easy to remember, right? So setting up of windows means when the any window will become active, whether you have to see that, in that case you have to see that the menus on the menu bar should be active, the title bar should be visible, right? The status bar should be visible. That means all the components which related to that particular window, the components of that window, all the components should be accessible as per the application, as per the Windows task, right? And then make the setting up of window, sorry, this over. In overlapping system, provide powerful commands for arranging the windows on the screen in user-tailored configuration. So with respect to overlapping, we know that it is not any particular uh, fixed kind of presentation style, right? Where you can give the configuration in this window, this is fixed for this window. It is like you can, overlapping can be in any fashion. One window can be completely overlapped by the other window, or only 20% can be overlap, or can only 80% can be overlap. So all that should take care into overlapping system. So this is with respect to the active window. Next operation is sizing window, right? Now exactly with respect to the size of the window, if whatever the things we should, what things we should take care. So first, provide large enough windows to present all relevant and expected information for the task. Avoid hiding important information. Avoid crowding or visual confusion. Minimize the need for the scrolling. So depends on your application. If you need that window to be as big as your laptop screen or as your computer screen, use the complete screen, right? Make your windows completely complete out. But if you need to be your windows only should be of half size and not required the bigger always, then as per the application it's required. But what things you should take care, you should not, there should not be always unnecessary scrolling, right? You have enough space, then why you are making the size of the window small? Because if you are keeping the size of the window small, then definitely information will exceed than the size of the window. And to see the information, to see the contents of the on the window, the user needs to do the scrolling. and scrolling is where manually he has to do it. So it is generally it is extra headache actually for him. But sometimes if it is we need to put so many things on the same window, in that case we need to arrange in such fashion so that we use scrolling. If it is the information or the content is going beyond the size of the screen, then definitely we need to go for the scrolling, but minimize as much as possible. Avoid crowding. So you have to see the size of the window. It should be such that it should not be too small where it will be all the contents will be look as a crowded, or it should not be very I mean maximum it will be a laptop screen, maximum it will be that, but use less than full size of the entire screen. If window is too large, determine is all the information needed, is all the information related, right? As I told just now. Otherwise, make the window as small as possible, that is optimum window size for text about 12 lines, for alphanumeric information about 7 lines. So these are the standards, like it is a size of the optimum window where any window which contains the maximum 12 lines apart from the title bar and status bar and menu bars and all, the actual working area of your window, the which we also call is at a client area. What is the advantages and what are the disadvantages, right? They permit displaying of more information, they facilitate learning, data relationship and grouping are more obvious, less window manipulation requirement exist, breadth is preferred to the depth, more efficient data validation and data correction can be performed. So this is very true when it is a size of the window is large, right? Because we can see it will allow us to put maximum information, more information. Also, it will allow us to see the contents in a single window. Also, it will make us see the relationship between the different grouping of the icons, grouping of the items, whether it is in the menu bar or whether it is in the screen area or the client area. And at the same time, you breadth is preferred than the depth. So instead of a vertical window, the horizontally bigger window is preferred. What are the disadvantages? It's saying that longer pointer movement is required. Disadvantages with respect to the larger window. So with respect to the larger window, it is saying that longer pointer movement are required. Windows are more crowded. More visual scanning is required. Other operations, other windows more easily obscures parts of the OK window, and it is not as easy to hide inappropriate data. So both the way it's speaking, actually it's speaking on both the sides. हम लोग बोलते ना, it's like it's डमरू बजा रहा है, both the side is. So it's like the advantages are also there and disadvantages are also there of the larger window. That's why it depends on the website. See, sorry, that's why it depends on the application. See, many websites you would have seen, uh, it will be vertically, the depth of that Windows size is vertically it is more. You need to keep scrolling down to see further information with respect to that, right? Some for some website it will be the complete window or complete information will fit into the window size only, but then the depth wise operations will be more, right? So for example, if we are going to the SVC website, you can see that in SVC website, if you wanted to it's there, the depth wise also it's there, and it is there, the number of related windows are also there, number of opening of windows are also there. So if it is depth wise more, it sometimes it's irritate because we have to use our scroller to take it down further and just read the information, right? But sometimes the larger window, that's what this is the advantage. Sometimes so many information will keeping on the same window, so that also will it will look as a crowded. Sometimes visual scanning is more because we need to read everything in a one screen only, so we have to continuous as in this is where this users human characteristics will play a role, right? Because we have seen in the first or second module the human characteristics, how we should consider the human characteristics. So for any age wise also we have to see the scrolling of particular screen continuously, it irritates the person, right? So we have to see what group of users are there, what is their age group, and accordingly that we can decide whether to fit everything in the single window or make it as different windows. Okay, so and it is not easy to hide in but this is one big disadvantage. Sometimes if we wanted to hide the data, it should not visible immediately as soon as we are opening the window. But if it is a larger window, then it will be easy to see in the first attempt only. But if it is a smaller window, it will be somewhere in the corner or it will be somewhere in the down where it is not visible. So sometimes such kind of inappropriate data which should be there on the screen but should not be visible as early as possible, we are not, it is not possible through the larger windows. So this is, I think you people have done many projects, so you might have got this idea. I mean, you might have observed all these things, or you might have got this kind of designing what we can say disadvantages while doing the designing, right? So now also when you are doing a project, um, you must be working on your UI also, so you might be thinking all these points, right? So this is with respect to sizing of the window. So these are general guidelines, it's not necessary you should stick to these guidelines only.